Hello indie game fans, there are a whole bunch of fantastic indie games shown off at Gamescom 2021 with many new trailers and release date confirmations, but like in yesterday's video, I do have a bunch of new indie games reviewed at Gamescom this year that I'm very excited about. Let's begin with Stray Blade, a third-person action RPG that looks awesome. Apparently, the marketing shtick for Dream Cycle is that it's from the creator of Lara Croft the character, where upon digging just a little, I found out that said developer left the studio after just one game, so make of that what you will. But apparently, he's back with a brand new title. It's a first-person action title mixing magic, guns and stealth, all in the context of an ever-expanding open world which does look to have promise.
Wake up.
If you're interested in roguelite first-person shooters, I would recommend that you wishlist Into the Pit, one that looks inspired by Devil Daggers, but you do have two hands instead of one. You play as a member of a family of mystics summoned to a cursed village looking for your cousin. The array of occult magic and chaotic powers looks awesome, but I'm curious as to how weapons, upgrades and synergies will work in this, but the action looks frantic and will be for fans of the genre. Quick teaser for Scorchlands, a beautiful looking city builder that is supposed to be relaxing and chill, with no pressure, time limit and enemies, joining the ranks of Dofromantic, so let's see how this does.
Clid, scientifically classified as a Helix pomatia, is a snail with the ability to do a
Badass entrance walk?
Let me tell you, snails as the protagonist for your video game is not common at all, which is why Clid the Snail got my attention. And then I found out that it's a fantastic looking top-down shooter that mixes settings and genres, having a visual fidelity on par with The Ascent, but with less neon lights, mixing and mashing medieval, modern and fantasy landscapes with some powerful sci-fi weaponry for our hero, looking pretty awesome, which makes it of interest.
This particular being has been exiled for its problematic behavior. And now, he has joined a new path. The snail has a new purpose: to exterminate the slug plague. Will this fascinating individual survive his dangerous adventure?
Hasta la vista, slug!
The developer of Falling Frontier did have quite the in-depth explanation during the Awesome Indies showcase, where this sci-fi real-time strategy game just looks awesome. It's an RTS on a grand scale, having you build space bases and battleships across galaxies and planetary systems, where I'm curious as to how the grand scale of things will work in relation to the scenarios or campaign. Gorgeous game visually as well, even allowing you to customize your ships, and where every crew member on board is a named character with their own traits and abilities, looking really ambitious, and I have to support the developer for trying to make one of these in the modern age.
High above the forest deeps, my beloved child sweetly sleeps.
I'll be honest, For as corny as it may be, I do miss the world premiere guy, which was exactly needed with Oaken, a brand new roguelite tactics title that does look pretty great. This does remind me of Feria, but as a roguelite, so if you love the tactics genre, this is one to watch. I'm a fan of cozy games, so of course, Trading Time gets a spot, a self-described sandbox exploration title that simply looks wonderful. You are shipwrecked on an island filled with cute frogs, having to help them with various requests as you befriend and get parts in order to fix your ship. Don't worry, it's not all fetch quests and trading items, where the developer does talk about farming and fishing to get new items, some mysterious puzzles to solve, and even free-form exploration like a gliding mechanic that does allow you to access new areas.
The trees. From the sun they gave shade. From the wind they gave shelter. They filtered the water, kept the soil from washing away. They gave us life, but between two trees. Now the trees are so far from each other. I am Vavzez, teller of the 13th caravan of the Macaw, the only one still living.
Me being me, of course, Sandwalkers gets a spot, the next title from developer Goblin's Studio, whose most recent project is the pixel art roguelite RPG Legend of Keepers, where this is also a pixel art roguelite RPG. However, the world building here is fantastic, set in a world covered by sand, where you play as successive caravans of heroes journeying into the wasteland to plant a tree that may hopefully change the tide of things.
To the ends of the world. Create a new haven, that the caravan that follows you may go even further, and continue our quest for knowledge that will one day allow the 15th, the 16th, the 100th, to repair the ancient folly that made this world hostile to life.
Each failure allows you to grow the library of knowledge, passing the information on to help the next group, all with the same end goal of restoring the world. The combat does look like Legend of Keepers, and since I do like that game and this looks great as well, this gets on my watch list.
No, sire. I'm struggling to find the intelligence of this rogue AI. To spit on your creators and then what? Retreat to a failed colony planet?
My goodness, I whooped in delight when I saw Cantata, a pixel art turn-based tactics title with a base building element that simply looks awesome.
Truth lies beneath your surface. Vast streams descend your lenses. Your yoke is broken. Embrace this earth and trust it.
It's set in a world that mixes the mystical with sci-fi, having you take command of one of 3 factions as you struggle to get a foothold on an alien planet. There are 9 commanding officers to choose from, 3 for each faction, where every CO has one large campaign map, so it does seem to be an epic adventure, perhaps in a vein similar to They Are Billions. It looks like it has RTS style base building where you can produce units, but combat of course is turn-based, making this quite the curiosity to watch. I cannot say enough good things about the pixel art action platformer Blasphemous and developer The Game Kitchen, since they have continued to put out one free update after the next, with the latest being Wounds of Eventide, one that, in perhaps a bittersweet fashion, is said to be the final update that concludes the journey, unlocking the game's true ending. New bosses, areas and items will be a part of this, but I do feel like it's following a similar trajectory to that of Hollow Knight in all the free updates, which makes this developer a gem in my eyes. While we do only have an animated trailer and don't get a peek at any of the sweet pixel art, the developers more than make up for that with the stinger right at the end, confirming that yes, indeed, Blasphemous 2 is in development, targeted for 2023, so more grimdark goodness for us to enjoy.
Surgipe, pater retortus, orationem nostram, facut fronsim in nomine culpabilissima convertor nobis cunque ibit, quoniam miraculus recreatus est.
One of the most amazing animated trailers of the event is that of Cult of the Lamb, an action roguelite from developer Massive Monster, and is once again a Devolver Digital published title. As the rather morbid trailer starts off, a lamb is beheaded by an executioner but is brought back from the dead by a mysterious stranger in a menacing black crown, granting it the power to fight back and ultimately build a cult. You're building up your power and the number of followers, harnessing their power to take on challenging bosses and false prophets, looking to mix both bullet hell action roguelite elements as well as an adorable city building portion. If you're not familiar with this developer, they did previously make Flash games with Steam releases such as Never Give Up and The Adventure Pals, so it's nice to see them flex their chops in a different genre, one which I love, so of course it takes the #1 spot. For more roguelite titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.